Imagine the chill of a winter's night in Austin, Texas, 1991. The city was about to witness a horrifying crime that would shake its core. On this icy December evening, 4 vibrant young lives were abruptly extinguished. Eliza Thomas, Jennifer Harbison, Sarah Harbison, and Amy Ayers, mere teenagers, were the unsuspecting victims of a crime that would send shockwaves through the community and beyond. The 4 girls were enjoying a seemingly ordinary night at a local yogurt shop. Little did they know this night would not end with laughter and shared stories, but in a horrifying nightmare the echoes of which still reverberate through the city's memories. The discovery of their bodies, bound, gagged, and violated, painted a chilling picture of a robbery gone horribly wrong. This was not just a crime of opportunity, but a brutal act of violence that shook the city to its core. The girls had been shot execution style, a detail that brought an added layer of horror to the already gruesome scene. Every detail of this crime scene was a stark reminder of the brutality of the act. Yet in the midst of the horror, the resilience of the community shone through. Austin was united in its grief, its determination to find justice for Eliza, Jennifer, Sarah, and Amy, and its unyielding belief in the power of human spirit to overcome even the darkest of times. Each piece of evidence, each lead followed, each tip investigated only seemed to deepen the mystery. The search for answers would lead investigators down countless paths, but the perpetrator or perpetrators remained elusive, hidden in the shadows of the city's darkest night. This brutal crime scene would become the starting point of a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. As dawn broke, investigators began to piece together the horrifying events of the previous night. The Austin yogurt shop, a place once filled with life and laughter, had become a chilling crime scene. The team's task was daunting. 4 young lives brutally ended, and a perpetrator, or perhaps multiple, still at large. As the investigation unfolded, detectives were confronted with an overwhelming number of potential suspects. Over 1,200 individuals were considered, each person a potential key to unlocking the mystery. Yet, despite this extensive list, the identity of the killer remained elusive. Each lead seemed to dissolve into uncertainty, each clue a dead end. At the heart of this investigation was the DNA evidence found at the scene. Forensic science, a beacon of hope in this grim task, offered a tangible link to the perpetrator. Yet, despite the promise of genetic evidence, it proved insufficient for incrimination. The DNA samples, while undoubtedly critical, did not provide the conclusive proof required to bring someone to justice. It was as if the killer had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only fragments of their presence. The investigators found themselves in a maddening paradox. They had an abundance of potential suspects, yet not enough evidence to confidently accuse anyone. They had DNA evidence, yet it failed to provide the clear answers they desperately sought. The more they delved into the case, the more complex it seemed to become. The initial fervor of the investigation gradually began to fade, replaced by a creeping sense of frustration and despair. The trail seemed to grow cold as the list of suspects grew longer, yet no conclusive evidence could be found. The horrifying events of that December night in 1991 remained shrouded in mystery, the truth slipping further and further away with each passing day. In a twist of events, the case took a turn when 2 men came forward confessing to the heinous crime. The 2 men, whose identities were as surprising as their confessions, claimed responsibility for the brutal murder of the 4 girls at the yogurt shop. Their confessions were detailed, chilling, and seemingly irrefutable. They walked investigators through the crime scene, recounting the horrific events of that fateful night with a precision that was both shocking and haunting. The men were promptly arrested and convicted for the crimes, seemingly ending the nightmare that had gripped Austin for so long. Yet, their confessions were not the end of the story, but rather the beginning of a new chapter in this complex tale. As it turned out, their confessions were riddled with inconsistencies and procedural errors. As the case progressed, it became increasingly clear that the men's confessions were far from foolproof. The details they provided, once thought to be damning, were now seen as dubious. Key elements of their confessions did not match the physical evidence found at the crime scene. Furthermore, the manner in which their confessions were obtained raised serious questions about the validity of their statements. Due to these procedural errors, the men were eventually released from prison. Their release sent shockwaves through the community and the police department. Once believed to be the culprits of the horrendous crime, they were now free men, and the case was back to square one. The impact of these false confessions on the investigation was significant. It not only raised doubts about the police department's handling of the case but also brought the entire investigation under scrutiny. The confessions, once thought to be the key to solving this crime, only added to the mystery and confusion. Years turned into decades, yet the yogurt shop murders remain an unsolved enigma. The chilling crime that took place in Austin, Texas in 1991, a robbery gone tragically wrong, resulted in the brutal death of 4 innocent teenage girls. The incident shook the community to its core, leaving an indelible mark that has yet to fade. Investigation officers have been relentless, pursuing every lead, scrutinizing every clue, and considering over 1,200 potential suspects. Yet the identity of the killer or killers remains shrouded in mystery. The case, despite its notoriety and the tireless efforts of the investigators, remains on the list of unsolved crimes. The DNA evidence found at the scene, initially a beacon of hope, proved insufficient for incrimination. The scientific advancements of the time fell short of providing the clarity needed to bring the perpetrators to justice. Yet the detectives remain hopeful. With each passing year, DNA technology evolves, and with it, the possibility of finally solving this gruesome crime. Austin, a city known for its vibrant music scene and burgeoning tech industry, has had its image tarnished by this unsolved crime. The yogurt shop murders have cast a long, dark shadow over the city's community. The memory of that horrifying night, the loss of 4 young lives, continues to resonate with the residents. It's a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the cruelty that can lurk in the shadows. Despite the passage of time, the quest for justice persists. The detectives, the community, and indeed the nation, hold on to the hope that one day, the mystery will be unraveled, the guilty will be punished, and peace will be restored to the victims' souls. As we stand today, the yogurt shop murders continue to haunt Austin, a chilling reminder of a crime that has yet to see justice. In the course of this video, we revisited the chilling events of the 1991 yogurt shop murders. This haunting tale from Austin, Texas revolves around a robbery that took a horrific turn, leading to the brutal execution-style killing of 4 teenage girls: Eliza Thomas, Jennifer Harbison, Sarah Harbison, and Amy Ayers. The victims were found bound, gagged, and violated, marking a tragic end to their young lives. The subsequent investigation was nothing short of a labyrinth. Over 1,200 potential suspects were considered, and yet the killer or killers continue to elude justice. DNA evidence collected from the crime scene, despite being a beacon of hope, has thus far proved insufficient to pinpoint the culprits. This complex case was further muddled by the introduction of false confessions. 2 men were initially convicted for these heinous crimes, only to be released later due to procedural errors. These twists and turns have only deepened the mystery surrounding this case, transforming it into an enigma that continues to baffle investigators. Despite the passing of more than 3 decades, the 1991 yogurt shop murders remain unsolved. This case serves as a stark reminder of the grim reality that there are perpetrators who manage to slip through the cracks of justice, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and lingering grief. However, there is still a glimmer of hope. Detectives remain optimistic that advancements in DNA technology might one day prove instrumental in cracking this case wide open. The pursuit for justice is relentless and ongoing. As we close, remember the victims, remember the unsolved mystery, and ponder on the quest for justice that continues to this day. The story of the yogurt shop murders is a tragic testament to the resilience of a community in the face of an unsolved atrocity and the unyielding human spirit that refuses to give up on justice.